The first step on the road back to reality.
You're listening to the Geek Speak Radio Show on TalkZone.com.
And here we are. We're back on the Geek Speak Radio Show on Hero Initiative Day. Just talked to Jason Waters, who is the Northern California regional rep for the Hero Initiative. Now, like I mentioned before the break, there is a comic book company here in our backyard in Berkeley, California, founded by some former Marvel artists. One of them, I actually used to read some of the titles that he worked on. One of them is Jim Valentino. Jim Valentino is on the phone with us now. Jim, you there?
Yep, I'm here. How you doing?
Hey, Jim, how are you? Thanks for coming on, first of all.
Oh, you're welcome.
We just talked to Jason, like I said. Why don't you tell us, since you actually sit on the board, the disbursement committee, tell us more about the Hero Initiative.
Well, the Hero Initiative was created to help indigent cartoonists in times of need. So if someone, let's say, has medical bills that they can't cover, the Hero Initiative will step in. They'll step in to help with, general life support, or financial life support, I should say. We don't hook them up to machines or anything.
Right. Yeah. Who came up with the idea, actually?
Jim McLaughlin came up with the idea, and he based it on a similar group for the baseball leagues, one of the baseball leagues or something like that. He being a big baseball fan and former sports writer, he knew about this charity. And thought, since most cartoonists don't have medical or retirement funds or anything like that, he saw a need in our industry and created the Hero Initiative.
Yeah, I compared it to the not to the baseball, but to the NFL situation also, because they go through something also. The older players who retired and they weren't very well taken care of during the playing years and especially after also. So while the artists were working for Marvel, DC, whoever they were working for, why do you think that is? Why weren't the pensions that good?
Well, it was, at first it was freelance. Second, it was the way things were done, back then. Actually, it's still done that way now. A lot of people are freelancing and they don't have retirement plans unless they create one themselves, which is a fairly new thing. Certainly in, health insurance, unless you're on unless you're on salary, you don't get these things. So, when you're freelance, you're working piecemeal.
Yeah, and again, I mentioned this with Jason, but we made the point to make the point that just because we say veteran, that doesn't denote age. It could be younger artists or even older artists, right? Okay, we lost Jim. We'll try to get him back. But yeah, we'll get him back on in a minute. But again, we're talking to Jim Valentino from the Hero Initiative. He actually sits on the disbursement committee, which means they're the ones when people call in and give them a case. For example, let's say Ed Hannigan is one that comes to mind. That he needs help with medical bills, with paying the car, paying his rent, whatever it is. Jim and the rest of the members on the disbursement committee, they'll look at the case, they'll decide, okay, it's legitimate enough, and so they'll give him whatever the funds are. Hey, Romo, good morning.
What's going on? Good morning, guys. The Hero Initiative is here.
Okay. All right, so is Jim, actually. So, Jim, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, got you back. So, like I was asking you, I mentioned to Jason when we were talking earlier that we say veteran artist, but just because I say veteran, that doesn't denote age. It could happen to the younger artist or the older artist, correct? Yeah.
The thing is we have a certain criteria by which we determine that someone is a professional in the industry. And then when a case comes up, it is passed around to the disbursement committee. We're given all the information about the individual and about what the individual's needs are, and then it's put up to a vote.
And like I was mentioning, what we're trying to get you back on, you do sit on the disbursement committee, and there are two boards for the Hero Initiative. One of them is, how would you describe it, Jim?
One of them is what do you call it? They're the guys who go out and try and promote and bring in money. I forget what it's called. And the other one's the disbursement.
That's a good description, actually.
Yeah, I think I'm the only person that's jumped from one to the other. So.
Right. Yeah, and then the disbursement, like I was saying also while we're trying to get you back, you're the guys that pretty much decide how to spread the wealth, so to speak, right?
Right. We look at it on a case by case basis. The first thing you look at is the individual. Does he qualify as a professional cartoonist? And then the second thing is, what are the needs and what are the capabilities of the fund to grant to give them a grant? Very few people have been turned down, and those who have been turned down, their credentials are suspect at best. And the grants are given out quite generously and have been, since the founding of the company, of the initiative. Excuse me.
Right. So, especially in this day and age, just because you drew a picture of Spider-Man when you were 4 years old, you're not qualified. Sorry. And
no,
what kind of events actually do you guys look for?
I beg your pardon?
What kind of events do you guys want to put together? Like for example, here in San Francisco, we're in San Francisco at the Cartoon Art Museum. We've had a few events. The last one I remember was when WonderCon passed, but for Ed Hannigan, we had one for the Hero Initiative. What kind of events are you guys looking for?
Well, we put on shows like that. I know for and of course the Hero is represented at most major and many minor conventions. People can come by the table. Get sketches done by very prominent artists, buy some of the books and products posters, things like that we publish. But I know that next year at MegaCon, Jim and Beth Wydera, the promoter of MegaCon, is bringing together the entire board of directors, which will be a first. And
also over the Labor Day weekend, you're going to be at Dragon Con with special guest George Perez, right? That's coming up?
Hopefully, if George is well enough. I mean, I'm not sure. Last I heard from George, he was having some eye trouble and stuff. But yeah, if George is well enough, he'll certainly be there.
Right, okay. So again, Jim Valentino, thanks a lot for coming on. But before I let you go, I would never hear the end of it from the listeners if I didn't ask you to tease a little bit of some of the projects that are coming up from Image Comics. So why don't you do that for us before I let you go?
Well, I'll tell you some of them are coming from Shadowline. I can't tell you about Image Central. We've got Morning Glories #2 coming out, which is going into an immediate second printing. The first issue is going into its third printing right now. So that book is red hot and on fire. We got a new book coming called NYC BC. It's sort of what if Manhattan was turned into Jurassic Park. I think that's the easiest way I can put it. And Cowboy Ninja Viking, we're getting ready for the second volume of that one. And all kinds of cool stuff.
Perfect. And by the way, before I do let you go, I got to say thank you from me because I used to read some of the What If comics that you worked on from back then. So thanks a lot for that. I really enjoyed them.
Okay, thanks a lot.
So thanks a lot for coming in, Jim. Again, Jim Valentino from Hero Initiative. He sits on the disbursement committee. All of that is linked up on our website at geekspeakradioshow.com. Everything is on there. If you want to go see their website, it's heroinitiative.org, heroinitiative.org. The videos are there that we mentioned with Jason. The videos are there. You can donate. The stores, links to the eBay stores, everything is on there.
Geek Speak Radio Show will be right back.